I'd like to call the village board meeting for Tuesday, September 24th to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Allison Williams.
Present.
Trustee Gary Paul.
Present.
Trustee Chris Zerbal. Here. Trustee Mark Williams.
Here.
Trustee Kenneth Bukowski.
Here.
Trustee Michael Milcheski.
Here.
President Mary Kardowski.
Here. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please remember all our men and women throughout the world in uniform. Okay, I need action on the agenda. I have no changes.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 5, action on open minutes from the August 27, 2019 Village Board regular meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, number 6, comments from the public must be limited to items not on the agenda. Must state name and address. Is anybody here would? Could you come and state your name and address, please, for the record?
Good evening. My name is Alex Balistreri. With Balistreri Environmental. We're located down in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Our address is...
What, would you sit down and use the mic? This is being recorded, please. Thank you.
All right. I'm Alex Balistreri with Balistreri Environmental. We're located out of Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Our address is 1538 Country Club Parkway. Back in July, we did an emergency cleanup for the village of Ashwaubenon in regards to the Brown County Arena. After we got our agreement, can I hand these out to all of you, by the way, real quick? All right.
Sure. Right.
Thank you.
I got it. On July 2nd, you guys contracted us to do an emergency cleanup regarding some asbestos abatement that had been missed by your initial inspection on the Brown County Arena. During that time, we knew the quantities of 3 issues. We knew the quantities for the glue adhesive in the ceiling of the arena. We knew the quantity for the vermiculite in a brick block wall. And we knew the quantity for another block wall that had mastic. However, in your initial inspection report, there was mastic missed by your inspector. What occurred is Vite, your demolition contractor, ended up demoing some of the concrete rubble into the hole of the former Hall of Fame building. We were then asked to come and remove it. The only issue is we couldn't quantify it. So we decided to do a T&M proposal, which you will see on the 3rd page of your pamphlets. On this proposal, you will notice that the disposal rate was $150 a yard. Okay? Now, the way that we figure out the yardage is we take the tonnage from the landfill and we use the EPA standards, which was back in 2016, they came out to it. But if you flip towards the end of your pamphlet, I actually put the conversion standards in there. 810 pounds is what a cubic yard of demolition C&D debris is. We then did the math to figure out that we had roughly 1,640 yards due to the fact that we knew about 85% of it was concrete and the other 15% of it was extra debris because it's demolition. After this process had been completed and the work had been performed, we invoiced. Our invoice was due on August 7th. We didn't hear anything. We kept quiet, not a huge issue. On August 23rd, we were reached out, Allison Swanson reached out to us, denying the fact that there couldn't be that many yards. I have all of the correspondence in that pamphlet that you guys can read through at a later time. I don't want to take all the time up. Basically denying the fact that we took that amount of material out of the hole. All I'm here to do today is ask when we are going to get paid, because we do not want to take this any further than it already has. And that is my question to you guys.
And we can't answer it.
No, we
Okay.
can't comment on this at all because it's not on the agenda, so.
Okay. So I just wanted to bring it to light.
Okay,
So, thank you.
thank you. Okay, anybody else here to comment on something not on the agenda?
Good evening. As you all know, my name is Tim Keene. I own Margarita's Mexican Restaurant and also the Margarita's Business Center, which is located right behind the restaurant. I'm here tonight just to try to figure out what is going on far as all the access roads, and it's been brought to my attention that possibly the frontage road is now going to be turned into a pedestrian walkway. So, you know, as phase one of the Titletown district, I looked up some of the traffic counts, and it's obvious that over the last 3 years, the traffic counts have gone up by 9,000 for almost a 50% increase. So my concern is, you know, what are we going to do? I know the last time that we talked that basically there was a wait and see approach for Marley Lane to the west side. And my view is that, you know, in the comprehensive plan in March of 2016, where the Titletown Opportunity Area was basically a set of the plans, we are included in that part, and we're just want to know what's going to happen to how we're going to be connected from all the businesses from Marley down to Argonne Street. How are they going to be connected far as the walkways? And is that going to be addressed? I have not heard anything to that, and I just want to be part of that process. That's all I'm asking, is that I be included, because it is very contentious with far as traffic. I even had a traffic study guy that came to the meeting in December, and he did a study which basically he came and did a 1 hour study from 4:30 to 5:30, and what it basically stated was that there's a ton of U-turns, illegal U-turns that are being made around that median, and there was 8 in a 1 hour period, and there's only out of all the cars that were leaving and entering Margaritas, there was like less than 10 cars that would use that driveway because of the congestion. So I just want to make sure that you know, that the village obviously envisioned a pedestrian system to connect the destinations. As recently as Monday, September 9th, the Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee included the Titletown District on its regular scheduled meeting agenda and discussed the sidewalks along with the pedestrian traffic in the Titletown Opportunity Area. However, it was tabled for future discussion. One of the committee members, Randy Johnson, recognized that there may be a potential value of creating a map showing the area connectivity. That meeting was scheduled for September 9th. So I didn't know anything about it until I had, you know, gone and checked. So I would like to just be included on any of those ongoing discussions there. The other thing is, you know, the village must evaluate the entire area through the same proactive traffic lenses that the village used on Argonne Street when you added 2 lanes going each way for the Cabela's development, as well as the Ridge Road access that connects Lambeau Field to the phase 1 of the Titletown district, that is easily accessible for pedestrians, and that should be viewed through the same lens connecting our existing businesses as though that was. Another example of proper and deliberate planning under the comprehensive plan is that as Marley Lane is impacted, I feel, and traffic people that I've talked to feel that that's going to be the major corridor because it's right in the middle of the development. And so just to have one lane going on the west side of Marley is not going to be able to accommodate the businesses properly. Back in 2006, that median was put in there for correcting, basically, there was accidents that were happening from the frontage roads connecting to each one. So back in 2006, Mead and Hunt basically said that it was a temporary fix to put that island there. So I think that now that the frontage road doesn't exist on the east side, you know, there should be some discussions as to how people are going to connect from the Lambeau Field development, the Titletown district, over to Margaritas. Because as you look now, you know, with how are wheelchair accessible people going to get from Titletown that are working in that office, that are working, living in a residency, how are they going to even get across Marley Lane now? I think that's something that needs to obviously be addressed.
Madam Chairman, I'm going to call time. We've heard this before, and the gentleman has a right to speak, but you're limited to 5 minutes, sir. You're over 5 minutes already. So I'm going to call a time, Madam Chair.
Okay. Thank you. Tim, all I can say is thank you for your comments, and we can't comment on them, so.
Stay in touch.
You can always submit that in writing, Tim.
Right.
You know that.
Right.
Yeah, will do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, number 7, written oh, I'm sorry, did anybody else want to comment on anything not on the agenda?
One thing, I've had several complaints on excessive noise Saturday in the district that I cover. I have not contacted or got a hold of the people yet, but I just want to bring it to light that we are having some noise problems in that area.
When, Saturday, did you say?
Saturday is when I got the calls. I wasn't home this weekend, but I've been trying to get a hold of the people, and I haven't done that. I haven't gotten a hold of them yet, but I just want to make the comment that we are seeing some noise above and beyond what should be done, what should be in the area for pre-game entertainment.
Gary, if you could, let your constituents know they need to call public safety exactly at the time that it's happening. You can't go investigate a noise complaint after the fact, and people need to call just for documentation purposes so that they can go out at the time, and they should not feel concerned about making that call.
What I was trying to do, Allison, was get a hold of the people. We've discussed this in the past. Call the police immediately to let them know, and that's what I want to relay to them. If you got a problem, call now. I can't do nothing after the fact. So I just want to make the comment that we are seeing that, and like I said, I haven't gotten back with the people yet, so.
What street was that on, Gary?
I believe Valley View on the east side. You too? Oh, you're shaking your...
I know where it came from, yeah.
Oh, okay. I wish I was home, not at your house.
No.
Oh, okay.
Probably an STR.
I've received complaints on some of the short-term rentals that are in that area, and so yes, I encourage everybody, if there's noise, call public safety and let them deal with it. We need to get it documented. So, anybody else? Any comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll go to number 8. Action on consent agenda. Action on change of agent, GB Hotel LLC, DBA Residence Inn by Marriott. Action on change of agent, Hotel Green Bay OPCO LLC, DBA Holiday Inn Green Bay Stadium. C, action on operator's license. D, budgeted expenditures. And E, August general financials.
Move to approve.
Second. Okay. Could I, there's in the financials, could I have the financials pulled out of this? I just have a question for Greg.
Shall I amend the motion to pull out the financials?
I'll amend the second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the consent agenda,
Before we
but,
vote, Mary, I just want, everything in, all the paperwork's in, for the, Pat, for the changes?
You bet.
Okay, thank you.
okay. Greg, my question, I'm sorry. All those in favor say aye.
Right?
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, the question I have, Greg, on the general fund, budgeted and actual revenues. The actual revenues for the permits is a lot higher than we budgeted? Is it just because of the great building boom that we've had?
Yeah, that's what that would be. So those are, we permit on trends a little bit and try to predict. Sometimes building, those come in a little bit earlier than anticipated.
Okay,
That might smooth out as the year ends.
okay. And then the other one I noticed that was much higher than we had budgeted was interest on investments.
Yes, we've gotten better rates, greater returns on our investments. So
Okay.
overall, we've seen that across the board.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now I just need a motion to accept those general fund financials.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to accept those general fund financials. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carried. Number 9, public hearings. 9A, public hearing regarding ordinance number 09-1-19, amending a planned unit development PUD overlay zoning district for certain land located at Brookwood Drive and Marley Lane, Titletown District Development Phase 2. Is there anybody that would like to speak against this development? Okay, anybody who would like to speak against this? Is there anybody who would like to speak for this? Anybody who would like to speak for this? Okay.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second to close the hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. 9B, public hearing regarding ordinance number 09-2-19, creating a planned unit development PUD overlay zoning district for 2181 South Oneida Street. Is there anybody here who would like to speak against this development? Anybody here who would like, I shouldn't say it that way. Does anybody have any concerns about this development? Anybody have any concerns about this development? Hearing none, do we have anybody who'd like to speak for this development? Anybody like to speak for it?
Move to close the public hearing.
Second?
Motion and a second to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 10A, action regarding ordinance number 09-1-19, amending a planned unit development PUD overlay zoning district for certain land located at Brookwood Drive and Marley Lane, Titletown District Development Phase 2. Anybody have any questions on this for Aaron?
Can you just explain everything, what's going on here, so that there's general knowledge?
Certainly. The requested PUD amendment is to increase the maximum square footage of leasable area from 160,000 square feet to 185,000 square feet for the proposed apartment building on the far west side of the Titletown Development Phase 2. What this will do is it'll allow for a total of 152 apartment units, up from 148 as planned. The increase in square footage will actually be spread out amongst all of the 152 apartment units. So it will not just be 25,000 square feet for an additional 4 units. It is spread out throughout. Building height had a PUD limitation of 90 feet to top of parapet. The proposed apartment building will still remain below the 90 feet. And they have received approval from the airport and from the FAA for the clearance for the office tower, which also covers the proposed apartment building. In addition to the changes to the apartment building, there are some just cleanup in the PUD ordinance itself to clarify the approach to some of the signage within the PUD, which will now go to Site Plan Review Committee for their review. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Otherwise, Michael Cantor of Sterling Project Development is also in the audience for questions.
So this is reducing the green space and everything in that whole area as well then?
No, it will not actually reduce any green space at all. This is fully contained within the footprint of the apartment building as previously approved.
Just going higher?
Correct.
Move to approve. If there are no other questions.
Second.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve.
Just have a question before we vote, if you don't mind, Madam
Okay.
Chair.
Ordinance number 09-1-19.
And you're okay with this, Aaron and Allison and Madam Chair? I know you are here a lot more time than we are. This is all good to go?
Yes, sir.
Does Mr. Cantor live here yet, or is he live here yet, or are you still?
Don't tell me the door.
Okay. All right. That's just all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Okay. Motion and a second to approve that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 10B, action regarding ordinance number 09-2-19, creating a planned unit development, PUD, overlay zoning district for 2181 South Oneida Street, parcels VA-90-4-3, VA-90-4-10, VA-90-4-9, and the west 50 feet of parcel VA-90-4-9. Aaron.
The requested PUD is for a proposed 4-story office building being proposed by Nifong Realty. As proposed, it'll be a 49,200 square foot 4-story office building, including a drive-through canopy for a financial institution tenant, top floor gathering space, landscaping, a combination of on and off street parking. The proposed development does utilize existing curb cut on South Oneida Street and adds a second curb cut on Marvell Lane at the far east side of the development in the parking lot area. To facilitate the development, there's an agreement in principle to basically swap some village-owned land with recently purchased land from Nifong Realty. The proposed PUD amendment should be approved contingent upon a developer's agreement, basically formalizing that as well as any other improvements necessary for the project to come to fruition. The requested PUD is to accommodate the following: increasing the maximum height from 36 feet to 55 feet to top of building parapet, and reducing the minimum green space from 10% to 7%. The increase in density and reduction in green space is consistent with the comprehensive plan for this area, which does envision a more urban setting as well as uses. I'd be happy to answer any questions for you regarding the staff report. Otherwise, Mr. Larry Nifong and Mr. Dave Holsam of Nifong Realty are in the audience as well for any questions you may have for them.
Mary, just a quick question, I guess. I know that we had a meeting of the neighbors in that area and everything here a week or so ago. How did it go? Was there any concerns?
We had a meeting, there were some residents that came and they were okay with it. They at first thought that maybe the fact that large or taller buildings across the street would devalue their home. I assured them that it's not going to devalue their home. There was some business people there. They spoke in favor of it. It's what it's doing is it's getting the downtown look to Ashwaubenon, which is what we're trying to achieve. So
This meets with all the things we've talked about at meetings ad nauseum?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
This has gone through the site plan. This has been talked about. They've agreed to the things at the village and with them discussing on how to handle this, and it all worked out. So if there's no other questions, I'll move to approve.
Okay, was there a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, but Gary, could you make your approval
On the conditions?
of recommendation and the
Recommendations,
approved
but-
developers agreement?
Right.
And you're okay with that one?
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this with the recommendations of changing the maximum height from 36 to 55 feet and reducing the minimum green space from 10% to 7%, and with listed conditions and an approved developer's agreement with the developer. Any more questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 10C, action on Class B beer class, is that supposed to be?
That's B.
Class B liquor license for Union Restaurant LLC, DBA Cozumel Mexican Grill.
The Rice Boys LLC, doing business as Rolls, has surrendered their license to Union Restaurant LLC, which will be doing business as Cozumel Mexican Grill. All paperwork is in order, and no issues from the village's perspective. And the folks here who will be operating the restaurant are in attendance, if you have any questions for them.
Move to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the Class B beer, Class B liquor license for Union Restaurant LLC, DBA Cozumel Mexican Grill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Long trip. Here you go.
Okay, 10D, request to approve development agreement with Redo Homes, Inc. Allison.
So we've discussed previously the development at the former Snyder National site and what will now be called Alden Station. What's before you is a development agreement. We put this on the agenda before Ryan has saw it, and so we have just a couple of minor changes that will come through. But essentially, the terms of the development agreement would be that the village would come through. We've already acquired the site, do demolition. We would put all in the roads and utilities, bring it out of the floodplain, take care of the remediation, and then you've also already approved the actual subdivision of it. It has not yet been recorded, but we will be proceeding with that in the coming weeks. And then at that point, once those lots are buildable, Ryan will come through and buy lots from us at the schedule that's outlined in the development agreement. We put in, as you had previously discussed, that in the event he would have to buy the residential, like these duplex lots or the townhouses, but in the event that he is unable to construct or proceed with the larger condo sites, we would have those revert back to us if he does not obtain a building permit within 1 year. Deal with specific questions if you have any. The couple changes Ryan would ask is he may assign this to a different entity other than Redo Homes, which is fairly typical. We otherwise don't allow for him. He would not be able to buy a lot and then sell it to a different developer to build the same house on. It would be expected that it'd just be another arm of him that's doing that. And then he had a couple tweaks on some materials that we just need to review with Aaron, but I think he's okay with. He's good. So those would be the two changes that we have.
Any questions?
Well, we've talked about this quite a bit, I mean, over the last year, so I mean, I think we understand what's all entailed in here, so. I'll make a motion that we approve the developer agreement with Redo Homes, subject to legal or technical changes by village attorney.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the development agreement with Redo Homes, Inc., subject to legal or technical changes by the village attorney. Any more comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 10E, request to approve contract for assessment services.
So our contract with Mr. Diener is expiring this year. One change that you probably have noticed over the years is you'll see Paul Diener a little bit more frequently. He is now an Assessor 3, which is required as a signer to our assessment rolls. But Mike can't shake us, so he still comes in all the time as well. But they overall have a transition plan going forward. If Mike ever decides to retire, we let him retire. But overall, we would recommend continuing with it. There's, I think, a $1,000 increase in the fee each of the years, but that's what we've typically done in the past. We have a great relationship. He does a great job.
Move to approve the request to approve the contract for assessment services.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the 5-year contract with Fair Market Assessments, Inc. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I do know that Mike is going to be around a while. I just lettered his door and his name is on it yet, so we're safe there.
You're stuck now.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Okay, 10F, we are not going to have this because we can't order any cars because of the strike, so.
No action?
You can't order.
Just
Trying to buy a new.
table it. We'll deal with it during budget time.
Okay,
We can't order
Motion to
Tahoe. It's
table.
kind of the same as what we did last year.
Motion to table?
we need a motion to table.
A motion to table it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 11, items for next
More
agenda.
pages.
Anybody have anything for the next agenda? Okay, if you do, call the office. We'll get it on the agenda. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We're done.